So I'm here with Owen Jones, a columnist at The Independent and now The Guardian. Congratulations.
Thank you, cheers. Thank you.
Just wanted to ask if there's an issue that the voting age might be lowered to 16. How would you say we go about educating and informing people of that age and encouraging young people under 18 to get involved in politics?
Well, look at it as kind of two ways, if you like. Yeah, of course we need more political education in school, and at the moment, we try and educate people about other religious communities, which is really important, but often there's a lack of understanding of things like politics and citizenship and how democratic systems work and how people can hold politicians to account. So we need certainly to help educate people about, the history of democracy, how it was won and what they can do to change things. But at the same time, I go into sixth forms and schools a lot, and young people are often quite savvy, they understand the issues. If anything, they're almost too informed, because that anger comes about almost knowing, look, these people don't represent us, they screw us over and we feel disenfranchised, and lots of ways they are. So, it's not a case of ignorance in many ways, it's a case of understanding things, aren't running or working for people like them. And we need to change the political system as well. We need people like that, their voices to be heard in politics, and often they're not. So yeah, sure, let's educate young people. Let's also give them something to vote for, let's give them hope. That's what's missing at the moment, I think.
Yeah, also, given what Russell Brand said recently, I kind of went further to involve myself in that kind of thing. Came across this term anarcho-populism, which kind of alludes to the fact that hashtags, V for Vendetta masks don't really transform to real protests and things that are actually going to bring about political change. How would you say people who are tweeting, who are involved in this online debate, then go further to engage themselves in politics?
Well, firstly, there's something called collectivism, which I'm kind of opposed to, where you kind of passively sign a petition. That's your political involvement. You think you've changed things when you haven't. But for me, actually, social media, it plays such a key role in protests in this country, the student protests, UK Uncut. In other countries, obviously, the Arab Spring and those revolutions came about partly organised through social media, and there are ways of bypassing the mainstream media and actually helping to organise things, because you don't have to leaflet in a town centre to tell people to go to a protest. You don't need to depend on the mainstream media to get your message across. You can find other ways of doing it. So for me, it's about not just being passive. You can use social media to actually organise and get people involved politically who aren't actually politically involved at the moment.
Yeah, thanks. And just the last question, obviously, we aspire to be TV broadcast journalists one day. You've had some strong views on Benefit Street. What would you say the responsibility of broadcast journalists are to representing everyday people?
Well, I think we need to change the way the media works, because often people from basically non-privileged backgrounds are excluded because of things like unpaid internships, which means only often privileged people can afford to work for free, who can live off their mum and dad, often in London, very expensive city. People often have to get expensive postgraduate qualifications at places like City University. So we need scholarships to support people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, because otherwise those voices are just going to be missing all the time, and you'll end up with people doing programmes about people they never really meet, tapping into, they know cynically, well, lots of people are talking about the welfare state of social security, so this is something that'll tap into that and we'll get ratings off the back of it. Rather than showing actually, they can draw on people who know what it's like and think about their experiences and think, well, this is how we should present it, this is how we should show it. Not in a sensationalist way, not in a way either that kind of goes the other extreme and glorifies things or pretends there aren't problems in society, almost turns poor people into saints. Poor people and rich people or whoever is varied individually as anybody else are. Some take drugs, some don't, rich or poor. Some, commit various white-collar crimes, some commit, crime which is associated with kind of petty crime. These are things across all society, so we just need to be kind of honest about our portrayals. That's what I'm after, honesty in our portrayal, giving people a platform, giving them a voice, including them in the editing process, for example, but getting more voices from those sorts of communities who can actually understand the communities they're actually portraying. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you.
Cheers.
See you.